Hi, Challenge Innovators. This is David Linton again with Bigelow on our third video now to help educate you. And you'll recall in the first video we talked about the private transaction market, the uniquenesses of that market that we're accessing and entering. We also then talked in video 2 about the 4 different kinds of investors that participate in this market from the buyer side, if you will. And recall that we are representing sellers only of these great, unique private companies. And in this video, I want to quickly brief you on the current Bigelow methodologies for creating a universe of prospective investors for an individual client company. This is really a mix of technical tools that are available in the market today, what I would call brute force of our team, and then applying judgment, which, as we all know, can sometimes have bias to it. So you're looking at what we call the Investor Kaizen. This came out of some in-depth self-analysis by Bigelow over the years. We've been creating markets for over 40 years for our client companies, and we're into continuous improvement, and we're always looking at ways to do it better. And this basically summarizes for you the different methodologies that are available for use by a client team. So think about this as a menu of choice for them to think about the individual client company and the nature of that business, the industries that they're in, and the prospective investors, and then how they go about researching to find and create a universe of prospective buyers. And it includes things like these third-party databases that we access and we can gather information from and identify prospective buyers for. It includes researching, trade associations that relate to the business and trade magazines. It relates to talking to people in the industry, specialists, and kind of the buy side, and subject matter experts, somebody that's been uniquely qualified in the particular product area or service that this company provides. It involves us looking at the full supply chain and evaluating everybody that's involved in the ecosystem. It involves looking at other third-party databases and aggregators. There's folks out there that are trying to pull together all the different buyers and then reaching out to folks like us who represent sellers to say, hey, here are a whole bunch of different buyers interested in buying companies. And then the last but not least is what we call our blast email, which takes a number of these universes or data sets, if you will, of prospective investors, and a technique for sending them a brief overview of our client company to see if we get some response back. So that's in effect the available tools we have today to use to create a universe. Obviously, the objective is to create a comprehensive universe initially, to then further research each of the individual companies within that universe. And we'll talk a little bit more about that next time in terms of how we evaluate, or if you will, curate the full universe to get it down to a subset that we really focus on that seem to be the most attractive candidates for our client companies. So part of our challenge here, and part of what we're hoping you will think about, is how can we automate this process and remove the subjective bias that's inherent when we're looking at data and using our past experience to make decisions about whether to include or exclude a specific investor. So next time we'll talk about how we go about the curation process.